It was a sight no one wants to see. A raging inferno tearing through a Los Angeles neighborhood, flames licking the sky as brave firefighters struggled to contain the blaze. But what should have been a heroic battle against the flames turned into a logistical nightmare. The fire hydrants, those supposed sentinels of safety, stood useless, their throats as dry as the Santa Ana winds. The water pressure, crucial for dousing the flames, was nowhere to be found, leaving firefighters practically empty-handed against the inferno's wrath. As the fire raged on, fueled by the lack of water, buildings crumbled, and the damage mounted. The human cost was even more devastating, with both civilians and firefighters suffering injuries in the chaos. The incident sent shockwaves through Los Angeles, a stark and terrifying reminder of the fragility of our urban infrastructure. It was a wake-up call, a blaring alarm that something was terribly wrong with the city's ability to protect its own. The aftermath of the fire was met with a wave of anger and fear. Residents, their voices raw with emotion, demanded answers. How could a major city like Los Angeles, a place that prides itself on preparedness, be caught so woefully unprepared? The finger-pointing began, with accusations flying faster than the embers that had once danced in the night sky. The blame game, however, did little to soothe the collective anxiety. The people of Los Angeles were left with a chilling question. If a fire were to break out again, would their hydrants be any different? The fire and its disastrous consequences quickly caught the attention of California Governor Gavin Newsom. Seeing the images of the inferno, and hearing the desperate pleas of his constituents, Newsom knew he had to act. This was not just a local issue. It was a crisis that demanded the state's full attention. On January 10, 2025, just days after the fire, Governor Newsom took decisive action. He issued an executive order, calling for an immediate and thorough investigation into the Los Angeles fire hydrant failures. This was not going to be a whitewash, Newsom promised. He wanted answers, and he wanted them fast. The investigation, Newsom declared, would be two-pronged. First, it would delve into the immediate causes of the hydrant failures during the fire. Were the hydrants themselves faulty? Was there a problem with the water pressure in the area? These were crucial questions that needed immediate answers. Second, the investigation would take a broader look at the overall state of Los Angeles's water infrastructure, including its fire hydrant system. To lead this crucial investigation, Governor Newsom enlisted the expertise of two key state agencies, the California Department of Water Resources and the Office of Emergency Services. These agencies, with their combined knowledge and resources, were tasked with getting to the bottom of the hydrant failures. The California Department of Water Resources, known for its expertise in water management and infrastructure, was given the critical task of examining the physical components of the system. Their engineers and technicians fanned out across the city, armed with pressure gauges and other specialized equipment. They meticulously tested hydrant after hydrant, looking for any signs of malfunction or damage. Their focus extended beyond the hydrants themselves, reaching deep into the network of pipes and valves that carried water beneath the city streets. Meanwhile, the Office of Emergency Services, with its focus on disaster preparedness and response, took on the role of investigator. They began by poring over records, interviewing firefighters and city officials, and reconstructing the timeline of the fire. Their goal was to understand the chain of events that led to the disastrous lack of water pressure. They were looking for any procedural failures, any lapses in communication, any missed warning signs that could have prevented the disaster. The investigation into the Los Angeles fire hydrant failures is still ongoing, but one thing is clear: the incident has shaken the public's trust in the city's ability to protect them. The sight of firefighters battling a blaze with empty hoses was a stark reminder that even in a modern metropolis, disaster can strike when we least expect it. The investigation, no matter how thorough, cannot erase the fear and uncertainty that the fire ignited. The people of Los Angeles, once accustomed to feeling safe and secure in their city, are now left wondering if their homes, their businesses, and their loved ones are truly protected. The road to rebuilding that trust will be long and arduous. The findings of the investigation, once released, will undoubtedly lead to significant changes in the way Los Angeles manages its water infrastructure and prepares for emergencies. Already there are calls for increased funding for hydrant maintenance and upgrades, as well as for more rigorous inspections and testing protocols. The Los Angeles fire hydrant failures serve as a stark reminder that infrastructure is not merely about concrete and steel. It's about the very fabric of our society, the invisible systems that underpin our daily lives and keep us safe. When those systems fail, the consequences can be devastating. It's a lesson that Los Angeles, and indeed cities across the country, cannot afford to ignore.